Ladies and gentlemen, President William Samoei Ruto intelligently laid a political trap for Raila Odinga through the National Dialogue Committee report. And I want you to listen to me very keenly because I want to give you the exclusive analysis together with facts. First of all, William Ruto took his own time to understand that the main reason as to why Raila Odinga was calling for the demonstration, the street protests, public barazas and the rallies to cause mayhem, the destruction of properties, he was not fighting for the common mwananchi. And I think I need to repeat that statement once again so that the Azimio supporters can understand very well. Raila Odinga, by doing all this, he was not fighting for the common mwananchi. He was not fighting for you, but Raila Odinga was fighting for his own political interest and greed for power, the red carpet and etc. And that is why, in the National Dialogue Committee report, William Ruto cleverly included the entrenchment of the office of the opposition leader, which will be fully funded by the exchequer, I mean the treasury. Now, when Raila Odinga saw that particular proposal in the National Dialogue talks, he did everything possible to ensure that the National Dialogue talks becomes successful. And this is how Raila Odinga did that. First of all, number one, Raila Odinga called off all the demonstrations across the country. And that is why up to date, you will never hear Raila Odinga talk about the demonstrations again. Number two, Raila Odinga immediately called off the agenda, or rather the discussions about the cost of living in the National Dialogue talks. Remember that the cost of living was one of the key agenda that was supposed to be addressed from the Azimio side during the National Dialogue Committee report. But it was not addressed. If you ask Raila Odinga the reason as to why the cost of living was never addressed, of course he will give you lame excuses, blaming on William Ruto. That William Ruto, or rather the Kenya Kwanza Alliance leaders, they did not want to talk about the cost of living. Number three, Raila Odinga quickly disagreed with his boss Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Martha Karua, Eugene Wamalwa, and several other Azimio leaders over these dialogue talks. Remember that Uhuru Kenyatta, Martha Karua, and Eugene Wamalwa are totally against this particular report. They are opposing that report, and that simply explains as to why up to date they never append their signatures in the final dialogue committee report. And the main reason to this is that initially there were several issues which were agreed upon by these Azimio leaders. But up to date, these issues are not yet fulfilled in the National Dialogue Committee report. Like for example, in the case of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Uhuru wanted the issue of one man, one vote and one shilling to be addressed simply because it favors his region, the larger Mount Kenya region. In the case of Martha Karua, she has always wanted the cost of living to be addressed. But for Raila Odinga, as long as the office of the opposition leader has been addressed, he does not care at all about the rest of the issues. So let me read for you this particular statement here from the Taifa Leo newspaper article with the headline. Let me just show you on the screen. Kalonzo Karua pia warushiwa mfupa. It proceeds to say that kamati ya maridhiano kuunda nafasi tatu katika afisi ya kiongozi wa upinzani. So it basically says that there are 3 new positions that will be created in the office of the opposition leader. If you proceed to read, it says that Raila atarajiwa kuwa kiongozi rasmi wa upinzani, huku Karua na Kalonzo Musyoka wakiwa manaibu wake. So Raila Odinga here will be the official opposition leader to be deputized by Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua. Hata hivyo, Karua akataa ripoti hiyo akisema gharama ya maisha ichugulikiwe kwanza. So Martha Karua has resisted. So let us wait and see how things will turn out to be. But in this particular analysis here, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to quickly explain to you how Raila Odinga endorsing William Ruto's proposal in the National Dialogue Committee report is actually a big win for President William Samoei Ruto. But before that, just a quick reminder that in case you're listening to me up to this point, yet you haven't subscribed, I'm requesting you to please take a second or two and subscribe to this channel. You can also give this video a like. If you do that, YouTube will recommend this channel and this video to reach out to others. That is how we grow in this channel. To my returning subscribers who are currently watching or currently listening to me, I really want to appreciate you for your continued support, because without your support, this channel cannot be where it is currently, and that is why I don't take your support for granted. You can also get notifications automatically from YouTube itself every time I upload a video on this channel by simply activating the notifications. Having said that, without further ado, let me explain to you the details of this particular analysis. So first of all, by Raila Odinga endorsing William Ruto's proposal and accepting the office of the opposition leadership, it is actually a big win for President William Ruto. And just like I had said it earlier on, William Ruto has successfully managed to lay a political trap for Raila Odinga through that particular proposal. First of all, William Ruto will now manage to control Raila Amolo Odinga. Remember that the person who gives you power, that same person has the ability to control that power. Basically here, what I mean is that that office of the opposition leader comes with the laws, the regulation, and the rules to govern Raila Odinga. So basically, Raila Odinga will not have the permission to break the law because he will have to face the consequences. It is not like currently Raila Odinga is just an opposition leader without an office. Therefore, he can do anything. He can break the law because there are no rules, there are no regulations, there are no laws in that particular office. Number two, William Ruto has successfully managed to safeguard and also to protect the position of none other than Musalia Mudavadi. Remember that that particular position of Musalia Mudavadi, the position of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, is actually unlawful, and therefore someone might even go to the court and to challenge that particular position. Therefore, in this National Dialogue Committee report, it proposes the entrenchment of the Prime Minister position. So basically here, William Ruto has successfully managed to create two positions at the same time in this National Dialogue Committee report. Therefore, it's actually a big win for President William Samoei Ruto. Number three, the split within the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance. The divisions currently witnessed in the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance over this particular National Dialogue Committee report is actually a favor for President William Ruto. In fact, I read from a certain article in the Daily Nation newspaper that the divisions within Azimio is actually a blessing for President William Ruto. How is it that way? Remember that these divisions, the split within Azimio, the split within opposition, simply means that it is actually a weak opposition. Weak opposition is basically an advantage to President William Ruto. And thirdly, by Raila Odinga accepting the proposals in the National Dialogue Committee report is also a big win for President William Ruto because it basically exposes Raila Odinga's real mission. At least now, majority of Kenyans know who exactly Raila Odinga is. He does not fight for the common mwananchi, but rather he fights for himself and alone. The political interest is personal interest, but he uses very illegal means to get to power. How many people were injured during the demonstrations? How many people lost their lives during the demonstrations? How many people were arrested during the demonstrations and the street protests? The country lost billions and billions of shillings during those demonstrations. Properties were being vandalized. You know, business people went actually at a loss simply because of Raila Odinga, so that he can get to power. So you can clearly tell who Raila Odinga is. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what you think. Let me also know your thoughts, your views and your opinions in the comment section below. Otherwise, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let me see you again in my next analysis. Bye bye.